The scariest part of moving a domain isn't the transfer itself, it's the moment you realize your email could go dark for days. Most people assume moving a domain automatically moves the website and inbox with it. That single assumption breaks more businesses than hackers ever do. Here's the truth almost nobody explains: a domain, a website, and email are three separate things that just happen to share a name. Your domain is an address, your website lives on a host, and your email runs on a mail server. Move one carelessly, and the other two can silently disconnect. So before you touch a single setting, you need a map of what your domain is actually pointing to right now. Open your current DNS settings and screenshot everything. You're looking for the A record that points to your website, the MX records that route your email, and any TXT records like SPF and DKIM that stop your mail from landing in spam. This snapshot is your insurance policy. If anything breaks, you can rebuild it in minutes. Now for the part registrars quietly hope you'll skip, because it's where they can trap you. Every domain has a transfer lock switched on by default to prevent hijacking. You'll need to disable that lock and request an authorization code, sometimes called an EPP or auth code. Think of it as the secret handshake that proves you own the domain and gives the new registrar permission to accept it. There's a hidden clock that can freeze your entire transfer for 2 whole months, and almost no one warns you about it. ICANN rules impose a 60-day transfer lock after you register a domain or change its ownership. If you just bought it or updated the registrant details, you literally cannot move it yet. Checking this one date first saves you from a frustrating failed transfer. With the lock off and the code in hand, you're finally ready to start the move at your new registrar. At the new registrar you enter the domain and paste the auth code. But here's the critical move: before the transfer completes, recreate all your DNS records there first. That means your website's a record and every single email record, ready and waiting. Set the stage before the curtain moves. This is the single trick that separates a smooth transfer from a website that vanishes for a weekend. If the new registrar's DNS already mirrors the old one, then when the domain flips over, visitors and email never notice a thing. They resolve to the exact same servers. Skip this, and your domain points to empty default name servers, a blank page and a dead inbox. But the wildest part is still coming, because email doesn't die from the transfer itself. It dies from something invisible. When DNS changes, the internet doesn't update instantly. Old servers cache your records based on a setting called TTL, time to live. For up to 48 hours, some people see the old server and some see the new one. That gap is where emails silently disappear. So the smart move is to shrink that window before you ever begin. A day before transferring, lower your TTL to 300 seconds. That tells the world to recheck your records every 5 minutes instead of every day. Now when you flip the switch, propagation happens in minutes, not days, and your inbox barely blinks. Now let's talk about the confirmation emails, the ones that can quietly cancel your whole transfer. Both registrars send verification emails to your registered contact address. If those go to an inbox you no longer check, the transfer stalls or times out after 5 days. Make sure your registrant email is active and correct before you start, or your move dies in silence. Once you approve, the domain enters a waiting period that feels agonizing but is completely normal. A domain transfer between registrars typically takes 5 to 7 days to fully complete. During this time your site and email keep working because your DNS still points to the same servers. That's exactly why recreating those records beforehand was so important. The wait becomes harmless. When the transfer clears, there's one final habit that catches even experienced people off guard. Send yourself a test email from an outside account, reply to it, and load your website in an incognito window. Then verify your SPF and DKIM records are intact so future mail doesn't get flagged as spam. If all three pass, your transfer is genuinely finished, not just technically complete. Do all this, and something surprising happens: nobody visiting your site ever knows the domain moved at all. The whole secret comes down to one order of operations: audit, unlock, mirror your DNS, lower your TTL, approve, then verify. Skip the mirroring or ignore the TTL, and you gamble with downtime. Follow the sequence, and a scary transfer becomes routine. A domain isn't a house you drag across town. It's an address you repoint, and done right, the lights never flicker. Move the address, keep the records mirrored, and your website and inbox never even notice. That's the whole game.